How many days do you have left, Susan?
I don't know. What day is it?
Susan Anderson. I'm 22 years old.
Gloria Santos, 36 years old.
I am Ruth Green, but everybody calls me B, and I am 20 years old.
I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
I was born in the Dominican Republic, but I moved to Houston, Texas when I was 17 years old.
I am from beautiful Austin, Texas, and I am on death row.
I'm on death row.
I'm on death row. I've been in prison since I was 18.
So 2 years.
2 years.
Have you always been in maximum security?
No, I was in minimum for about first 2 or 3 months that I was in here, and then they transferred me over.
Do you mind if I ask why?
Yeah. Well, I was on suicide watch since like the first day I got in here. Because when I first got here, I tried to hang myself inside of my cell, and I guess I was considered a danger to others.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't think I'd be the one, right? Gets pretty dark in here sometimes.
I would say that the way that Senator Tinderholt implemented and enforced his strategy was like guerrilla warfare on the women of Texas. If you look at the women who are sitting on death row today for having an abortion, 67% of those women didn't know that abortion was punishable by death at the time of their procedure. 20% of them didn't even know it was illegal. So it's completely unfair. And if you look at resources that are being used to, I mean, he's going door to door, right? Getting these women, putting them in prison. If you look at the resources, police are not concentrating on rape, drug use, burglary, domestic violence, any of these things. They're not focusing on that stuff. Their main focus is on women who have had abortions, arresting them, getting them convicted, and putting them on death row. That's all they're concerned about right now.
When it comes to my opinions on the circumstances of my father's death, I've tended to never hold my tongue. Those people, those rebels, are so insignificant in the history of change that it hardly matters to me anymore.
What doesn't matter? Your father's death?
Yes, because I know that those people tried to start some sort of pathetic revolution, and that my father's legacy still stands. The concept's simple, really. It's equalizing the law. You know, my father used to say if you murder a pregnant woman, you get charged twice for it, right? So why is it the woman carrying the second life that gets to be the exception? My father was not criminalizing women, but instead equalizing the law.
Equalized law. Okay, so first of all, we can discuss the point that 15% of nonviolent female offenders were released early in order to accommodate this influx of female prisoners who have had abortions. So there is no rule of law, equality of law at play here.
Do all of the women who receive abortions get sentenced to death row?
Yes, every single one.
Every last one.
Everyone.
So, Senator Tinderholt, you're not worried at all about following in the footsteps of your father?
No, not at all. All that revolutionist propaganda was thrown away years ago. And yes, certainly if I were running for the same position years ago, I would have feared for my life. But everyone adapts to change in time. And that's all this is, change. People are so scared of change, but it's inevitable. And this is the best change to happen to the people of Texas. It's sort of like how marijuana is a gateway drug. Abortion is a gateway crime. Since the criminalization of all abortion, all crime has gone down. Nonviolent crime, 36%. Violent crime, 90%. Change. Accepting change. That's all it takes.
Sorry. All the water we get here is... Yeah, so... I actually have a family. I have a husband and a daughter. My daughter's 7 years old. I had her in 23, right when I had just started medical school.
That was a few years before the bill, right?
Yeah.
So, was your daughter planned?
Well, no. I was still in school, and me and my husband weren't married or even ready. Who's ready, you know? I think even without the bill, I would have kept her.
So, if you kept your daughter, then...
How'd I end up here? I had an abortion when I was 20 years old. I was at work. I had just started at a private practice. I was seeing patients back to back. I just come out of seeing a patient, and my husband sent me a video of our daughter in her little doctor outfit. She had on one of my lab coats, the little stethoscope, and she was chasing him saying, "Daddy, let me see your heart, let me see your heart." And I'm showing it around to the medical students and the doctors, you know, showing my kid off. And then 10 or 12 police officers show up right outside my work. And one of them walks in and says, "Gloria Santos." Then I say, "That's me. Is everything okay?" I don't get an answer. I don't get an answer. They just grab me, handcuff me, and read me my Miranda rights. So I'm screaming and yelling at the top of my lungs, "What did I do? What did I do? What did I do?" It was 5 days before they told me that I had an illegal procedure under a student visa, and I was indefinitely going to death row. I shouldn't even bother fighting it. But it wasn't right. I had an abortion 5 years before the senator who passed the bill got into office. How was it illegal? I fought it and I lost. My daughter is 7 years old. For the past 2 years, she has to see me behind a glass. And her teachers are telling her that her mom is a murderer. And one day, very soon, she won't even have a mommy.
B, why would you try to kill yourself if you already were on death row?
You know, I've asked myself that question a lot. And I guess it's just about bringing choice back into my life, you know? It's my body, my say, my choice. I felt like I deserved to be able to say what happened to me. And you could ask any girl that's on death row right now whether or not they would do it to themselves. They would say the same thing.
So what's it like being on death row?
What's it like? What's it like being on death row? It's like being on death row. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not reflecting on my actions or repenting or finding Christ or some shit. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a man to come get me and tell me it's time to die.
How many days do you have left, Susan?
I don't know. What day is it?
All that I had was all I gon' get. There's a possibility